You know, there's a quote I've never been able to forget. Something Isaac Newton said. This is the man who understood the universe, discovered gravity, laid the foundations of mathematics. And then, near the end of his life, this man said, I can calculate the motions of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. Tragic, isn't it? What defeated Newton? A math problem? A physics equation? No. What defeated him was something inside all of us. Greed. In 1720, there was a madness in the streets of London. People acted as if they were under a spell. And this madness, in just 1 year, took an entire empire to the peak, then crashed it to the bottom. Now, the story I'm about to tell you isn't just an old economics lesson. This is your story, my story. Because human nature never changes. It all started with a debt. Britain was exhausted from wars. The treasury was empty. The government was so deep in debt that people said, this money will never be paid back. This is when John Blunt entered the stage. This guy was one of those clever types, you know. The friend of a friend who can convince anyone of anything. Blunt's plan was simple. I'll handle the government's debt, he said. And in return, you know what he wanted? Trading rights in South America, in Spanish territories. Sounds fantastic, right? South America. You know what people thought about that place back then? Mountains of gold, endless wealth, a place of dreams. Everyone was fantasizing. But here's the thing, they were at war with Spain, so the company didn't even have permission to enter those ports. But nobody was questioning it, because the story was too beautiful. And this is where the famous South Sea Company was born. The company started selling shares. People lined up, did you hear that? They lined up. They queued to give away their money. At first, everyone was cautious, of course, but then something happened. Prices started rising, and people started making money. Your neighbor, the local butcher, the church priest, everyone was getting rich. Now imagine this. Everyone around you is getting rich and you're still on the sidelines. How would you feel? That's the feeling. That why didn't I join feeling. In English, they call it FOMO. By spring 1720, things went completely insane. Share prices doubled in a month, then doubled again. London went mad. Truly, utterly mad. People sold their houses, pawned their jewelry, invested their retirement savings. Because everyone thought, I can't miss this train. This time it's different. This time it's real. The company directors even gave free shares to politicians, gifts to the royal family. The system was rotten from top to bottom, but nobody cared. In June 1720, the bubble reached its peak. Shares were worth 10 times what they were 8 months earlier. 10 times. Crazy? Yes. But at that moment, everyone was a genius. Everyone said, I knew it. Then something quiet happened. Those with inside information started selling, even the directors, because they knew this ship is sinking. Isaac Newton re-entered the market at this point. Yes, you heard right, the man had made money before and got out. But then he thought, maybe I can make more. And he came back. Does this sound familiar? Like the guy at the casino table who says, just one more hand after losing. Newton decoded the secrets of the universe, but couldn't decode his own nature. Cracks appeared in August. Sales increased. Panic slowly seeped in. It started with whispers. Maybe we should sell? Then the whisper turned into a scream. Everyone ran for the door at once, but the door was small, and there was nobody outside. There were no buyers left. In September, the bubble burst. And the burst was horrific. Prices went into free fall. from £1,000 to 175 in 1 month. In 1 month, Britain's wealth vanished into thin air. Now let me ask you something. Imagine those who bought shares on credit. With the bank's money, by mortgaging, by borrowing. What do you think happened to them? They lost everything. Their homes, their lands, their futures. Banks locked their doors. Families fell apart. Suicides spiked. These weren't just statistics. These were real people. The anger was so great that in Parliament, there was a proposal to sew John Blunt into a sack and throw him in the Thames. Not a joke, this was seriously discussed. And Newton? The great genius lost £20,000. A fortune in those days, millions in today's money. For the rest of his life, he wouldn't even allow the words South Sea to be spoken in his presence. Now let me tell you something. This story is from 300 years ago, but it should scare you because everything is the same. Only the names change. Remember the dot-com bubble, the 2008 crisis, the crypto craze, NFTs? It's all the same story. The same, this time it's different lie. The same greed, the same fear. And here's the worst part. Being smart doesn't protect you. Even Newton wasn't protected. Because the market doesn't work with logic. It works with emotions. Every bubble has a song. You'll be rich. Don't be late. Everyone's winning. You can win too. The song sounds sweet, but the ending is always the same. Look around you today. Which bubble is inflating? Which story are you believing? Which sure profit trap are you falling into? The South Sea bubble taught us something. Price and value are not the same thing. Something isn't valuable just because it's expensive. Just because everyone's buying doesn't mean you should too. And there's another truth. The last ones in always lose. It's always been that way. Those who run as the door closes get crushed. This isn't the law of economics, it's the law of human nature. Perhaps the most dangerous question is, what if I miss out? This question bankrupted millions. It bankrupted Newton. Maybe it will bankrupt you too. But let me ask you another question. What if you didn't miss anything? What if what you think you're missing is actually a disaster? Newton's story is all of our story. Because we're all both smart and foolish, both logical and emotional. And most importantly, we're all weak when it comes to money. History teaches us this. The crowd can always be wrong. Experts can be wrong. Governments can be wrong. And yes, you can be wrong too. When the next bubble starts to inflate, remember Newton. You might escape gravity, but escaping the gravity of greed requires a different kind of strength. The South Sea bubble wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. It was a snapshot of the eternal cycle of human nature. And that cycle is still turning. The question is, which side will you be on?